on the English language, and to further promote the understanding and bonds of friendship between Filipinos and Mongolians. May we invite the ministers and the secretary for a brief photo opportunity. Thank you. May we invite the secretary and minister to join to the podium. We will first hear from Secretary Enrique A. Manalo, Secretary for Foreign Affairs, after which we will request Her Excellency Battsetseg Batmunkh, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, to deliver her statement. Secretary Manalo, you have the floor.
Good morning. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen of the press, dear colleagues. It is an honor to welcome Her Excellency Foreign Minister Battsetseg Batmunkh back to Manila. Minister Battsetseg's historic trip marks the first official visit by a Mongolian Foreign Minister to the Philippines since 1984. It reciprocates my own historic trip to Ulaanbaatar last year, the first official bilateral visit for a Philippine Foreign Affairs Secretary. I am pleased to have had a productive bilateral meeting with the Foreign Minister this morning, which has led to the issuance of our first bilateral joint statement since 2000. We were joined in this bilateral meeting by the Departments of Economy, Economic Planning and Development, formerly NEDA, and by the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA. This demonstrates how much potential there is to develop in our bilateral relations. Through the Foreign Minister, I thank the Mongolian government for helping ensure that the rights and welfare of around 500 Filipinos now living in Mongolia are protected. I discussed with her our desire to forge cooperative frameworks that will better protect Filipinos in Mongolia. The Philippines and Mongolia are two of the fastest growing economies, not only in Asia, but in the world. The future of our bilateral partnership finds strength in our resource-rich economies. And as middle-income countries, we share an interest in pursuing cooperation to sustain our promising development trajectories. And I thank the Foreign Minister for Mongolia's participation in the recently concluded high-level conference on middle-income countries held in Manila, which issued the Makati Declaration on Middle-Income Countries. I also responded positively to Mongolia's interest in learning from the Philippines' experience in the area of regional development and in pursuing English language training for Mongolian civil servants and rural officials in the Philippines. And in this regard, I have just exchanged with Minister Battsetseg diplomatic notes pertaining to a pilot program for Mongolians to study English in the Philippines, which will be organized by the Technical Cooperation Council of the Philippines. Beyond our economic ties, the Philippines and Mongolia are Asian democracies, bound by shared values of freedom, human rights, and the rule of law. In this context, we reaffirmed our shared interest in the evolving Indo-Pacific landscape and in defending the rules-based international order. As indicated in our joint statement, Foreign Minister Battsetseg and I emphasized the importance of adherence to the United Nations Charter and reaffirmed our commitment to the 1982 Manila Declaration on the peaceful settlement of disputes. We also reaffirmed our commitment to the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea and to our shared vision of a world free of nuclear weapons. Just as the Philippines pursues an independent foreign policy, I note with much interest Mongolia's third neighbor policy and the high importance it has been putting on its relations with the Philippines in its efforts to assert its strategic agency and aspiration, and this is most welcome. Allow me to close by stressing how pleased I am to be able to reciprocate the warm hospitality that Foreign Minister Battsetseg accorded me and my delegation during my official visit to Ulaanbaatar last year. And I am confident that we can continue to sustain the momentum we have built since our first engagement as Vice Ministers in 2018, and also through our 3 meetings so far as Foreign Ministers. So I look forward to the start and continuation of a truly meaningful growth in our bilateral relations with Mongolia. Thank you.
Foreign Minister Battsetseg Batmunkh, you have the floor.
Your Excellency, my friend, my brother, Secretary Manalo, distinguished members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to address you today following the fruitful and meaningful discussions I held with Secretary Manalo. At the outset, I wish to express my heartfelt appreciation to the government and the people of the Philippines for the warm hospitality and extended to me and to my delegation during our visit. Today marks a significant milestone in the ever-deepening partnership between our two countries. Since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1973, we have laid a strong and enduring foundation. I'm confident that we are now entering a new and dynamic phase in our relationship, one that is guided by shared priorities and a deepened commitment to tangible, people-centered cooperation. Our talks were forward-looking and centered on translating our long-standing goodwill into concrete outcomes. I'm pleased to note our mutual commitment to strengthening economic and trade ties, including collaborative efforts to expand our trade volume and advance the long-anticipated goal of establishing direct flights between Mongolia and the Philippines. Enhanced connectivity will not only promote trade and tourism, but also foster deeper ties between our peoples. We also exchanged views on the critical issues of food and labor security, areas of increasing global concern. In this context, we welcome the progress toward concluding a memorandum of understanding on agricultural cooperation, which aligns with Mongolia's national food supply and security campaign. Likewise, the positive response to Mongolia's proposed labor agreement reflects our shared responsibility to uphold the rights and welfare of Filipino workers in Mongolia. Recognizing the Philippines' global leadership in English language education, we welcome the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding on English language training. This initiative draws upon the Philippines' internationally acknowledged expertise and is aimed at enhancing the skills of Mongolian youth and civil servants, especially in rural areas, contributing to our national objective of inclusive regional development. Our dialogue also covered regional cooperation, where I reiterated Mongolia's interest in becoming a sectoral dialogue partner of ASEAN. This step represents a natural progression in Mongolia's engagement with the region. We are deeply grateful for the Philippines' full support for this aspiration, which affirms our shared commitment to regional peace, dialogue, and cooperation. Equally significant was our discussion on global challenges, including the urgent need for climate action, disaster resilience, and nuclear disarmament. I take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to the Philippines for its support of Mongolia's bid to host the 17th conference of the parties COP17 of UN Convention to Combat Desertification in Ulaanbaatar in 2026. We believe this conference will spotlight the critical issue of land degradation and desertification and the broader impacts of climate change across our region and beyond. Today's discussions were held in a spirit of genuine friendship and mutual respect. They reflect the expanding breadth and depth of relationship between Mongolia and the Philippines. Looking ahead, Mongolia remains steadfast in its commitment to work closely with the Philippines to deliver meaningful, lasting outcomes for our peoples and to contribute to a more peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable future for the region and the world. I thank you. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Minister Battsetseg Batmunkh. Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Minister. That concludes our joint press conference. And we thank the Excellencies, distinguished guests, friends from media for joining us in this afternoon's engagement. Good afternoon to all.